You're like a circle that floats around me, keeping me safe and sound. And when I fall, you tied a rope to me. You're blessing me every day. I was down with an illusion, like a sparrow with broken wings. But now I shine with your reflection on me. I'm getting back up on my feet. That you showed up was written in my palm. You are a statement that explode like a bomb. I get to push myself to victory. You make me winner. You cut me loose and set me free.
Hey, y'all, what's up? Welcome back to Vision 42. I'm your girl, Kara Vibes. I have some exciting news today, but first and foremost, I want you guys to come on in, join the show. Make sure you like, comment, and share, which that's what I'm getting ready to do, is share. So let's go ahead and get that started. And then we'll start into the show with the good news. Good news. Lots of good news, actually. Lots of good things coming along. If I can click on the show from like my page, I can share it. There we go. Comment when you come in. Make sure you say hi, like, comment, and share. No one's been following directions, so nobody gets a specially designed item, customized item for that yet. We're going to be doing new giveaways, new prizes, new stuff, lots of new stuff coming on the show. So while I'm sharing, I will go ahead and share some good news. Today, Kara Ann Productions is officially in business. I did get the LLC this morning. So it's Kara Ann Productions Co. And I'm really excited for this new journey. And I can't wait for all the exciting things that are going to happen with it. I have some great plans, some amazing tricks up my sleeve. So we'll just see how it goes. Also, I want to thank you guys all for just being a loyal supporters and staying tuned in and watching and sharing. And I don't know if you watched last week, but I have a new co-host, and Miss Susie Chevelle. So she'll be co-hosting with me from here on out. So I'm really excited for it. We're going to be traveling and doing shows live from places, and it's going to be really exciting, really fun. We're going to hear and interact with you guys at home. I'm going to plan an event where we go to Hartville Flea Market, and we'll do a live show from there. So make sure you come out and see us. I'll be posting that later on. But for now, I'm going to bring on Miss Chevelle.
Hey, everybody. What's going on? What's happening? What's going on? Thank you for introducing me. I am really excited to go on this journey with her. It's something I think we're going to be good for. We're a good we're a good mix. So I think we're going to have a good time with it, and we can keep things going. So what are we going to do for today's show, guys?
We're going to talk about our stories and our journeys and why we are the people we are and what molded us into us and what we're pursuing now and what our journeys are like and, what they have been. That's what we're going to talk about.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to start. I'm going to keep sharing because I haven't shared yet.
Oh yeah, go for it. I
Oh,
will intermediate because it's your baby, so I just want to be supportive and go with you, and then I'll take it from there when you want me to. So I'm gonna sit back and listen and respond to you. So that's how we're gonna
thank
roll
you.
this one. Yeah, go for it.
We're gonna roll with the punches.
Yeah, that's what we do. That's how we roll. Just
So as you guys come in, please comment and say hi. We want to know that you're there.
the dog. If you can hear the dog drinking water, sorry, you guys.
Q&As. You can ask any questions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think this will be fun. I think when we do start sharing and everything, it'll kind of give you guys the base of who we are and why we're doing what we're doing and why we want to do it, and maybe get you on a personal level so that you can connect with us one on one a little bit, whether it's with my story or Kara's. I think it's important you know who we are and where we come from. That's why we want to implement who we are to help you maybe open up to us a little bit too if you feel you need that in your life or friends in your life. We are good friends. You can follow us and we will respond to you in a timely manner and try to keep the relationships going, as many as we can, in a timely manner.
Exactly. Yeah,
That's the goal.
and please reach out if you're dealing with any difficulties mentally, physically, emotionally. Please feel free to reach out. Miss Chevelle is a professional in the field, and I have tons of experience working with people, and including myself, who
Yes.
are mentally ill. So
Yes. 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 Yes.
feel free to reach out.
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely feel free to reach out if you ever needed help or anything else like that. We definitely can be here as to listen. As far as my responses go, I might lead you to an actual LPCC or somebody who you may need to see. Financially, if you're in the Akron area, I definitely can help you there. If you're looking to get help mentally in the area, I can definitely lead you to some good places that can help you. But we definitely want you to let us know. We want to help for sure, and we want you to know you're not alone. We've been
Exactly.
through some very hard times and traumas ourselves, which you'll most likely learn a lot more as time goes on. And me and Kara will learn about each other that maybe we don't fully know, you know. So it's gonna be a good show. I promise that. So ask questions, um, so we can answer them and include you in our fun down the road, whatever we're doing, whether it's my crazy idea or Kara's. My crazy ideas are going to be different. I want my Tiffany Hughes to come with us on a haunted journey. Kara may be
Yes, we're
standing
gonna go.
outside
I might
of
stand outside. I'm
of
gonna
the
have all my
journey.
crystals. I'm
So
just
if
gonna
there's
have this
a
big old bag of crystals, and I'll be like, "Oh, my
oh my
protection!
god, this.
Do not come near me."
Although I can tell you, fun fact, we were talking about when last week, like the shadow people thing. So my boyfriend's daughter, someone very close to me, Anna, she said that she's seen them things too. So it's kind of like, if you guys know what I'm talking about right now, they're black floating like figures. I think that they're warnings. Some people feel like they're protection. Other people feels like it's because something bad's about to happen. There's a
Hmm.
lot of relay on that, like what that is, I guess. Um, I didn't really ask her what she felt about what she was seeing as she related to her father, but I will ask her. However, Tiffany says that she has seen a majority of her life in different instances. She calls them
We
shadow
can have
people.
her
I just
on.
call them. Oh, I mean, eventually. I mean, I will eventually. I just want her to be comfortable and talk to her about it. Being a podcaster, having your face in the line of public, not everybody may be comfortable with that, and I want her to watch one and see if it's something she may want to do, or even her voice.
Yeah,
Even if we have
it's
to black her
scary.
out and give her the monotone thing, like, oh, yeah, no, yeah. Putting yourself out there is scary, guys. Like,
We
and the
won't use
world
the
doesn't
monotone.
really
We'll use
do.
the mouse voice, make it cute.
Yeah, so she can. She's but she may. I mean, I think more people should be definitely open to telling us things on all different moleculars of your life, whether it's mental, physical, emotional, or you're in a bad situation at home. Definitely let one of us know. We'll do our best to help with that. Maybe you're struggling in those areas. I don't know. We just want to hear what you have to say and what you're living through to better be
Hi,
a
Raheem.
better people. Hello, Raheem. How are you?
It was his birthday. He's a Leo.
Uh-oh. Leos are good people.
They are my favorite people.
Are they? I have a friend, Zach Watson, who's a Leo. He's the only Leo I think I can say I know. He definitely is a very outgoing personality. He goes to raves. He drives a motorcycle. He's like 32 and hangs out with 25-year-olds. So it's gonna be different.
He said, "Hello, ladies."
Hi, Raheem. How are you? Happy birthday, by the way, since you had a birthday pass.
Yeah.
How
Both my
how
kids.
many years young? Both of your kids are Leos?
Yeah. They
My
they both
gosh.
they both had their birthday party. One's August 2nd, one's August 21st.
You know, when I was little, I never really wanted to tell people what I was because I was a Cancer, and I just felt like that was a bad thing because, Cancer was like an illness or disease that killed people. So I didn't really understand astrology, obviously, when I was a kid. And
Mm,
I was like, I don't like my sign, but now I really do like my sign.
okay. So, sorry, I was drinking. You could hear my straws. It's my orange juice. I got to stay, hydrated.
You got to do what you got
Yeah,
to do, girl.
guys, I need my vitamin C. Get it any other way.
Yep, I feel you.
Um, yeah, so about the show today. So, Ross, as you're just joining, Kara Ann Production is now officially Kara Ann Productions LLC. Well, it's Kara Ann Productions Co.
Woo,
Um, so
woo. Very
yeah,
excited.
I finally got my business license. Miss Chevelle, Susie Chevelle, is now my new co-host,
What's
and
up, y'all?
um, I did get some new equipment, and we are going to be going live places and doing the show live from different places, doing different things.
It's going to be fun, guys.
Yes,
Definitely worth looking into.
and today we are going to be telling our stories. So,
Yes.
yeah. So I'm gonna let Susan start it off.
She would do that to me. Y'all, she would do that to me. I'm just kidding. Um, so if we're gonna go like who directly I am and where I come from, I grew up in Akron, Ohio. I grew up in a little place called North Hill. A lot of people know it as Little Italy. Some people do not know it as that term. Um, so I can say from the moment of birth, I went on my spiritual journey from pretty much the day I was born because after I was born, I was pretty much baptized. So my mother and father made the choice for me to follow Jesus Christ as my savior upon my birth. Now, faith to me was an actual choice. I'll get into that. So, me personally, I was born July 14th, 1986. Like I said, I'm a Cancer. If you follow astrology, um, you probably the reason why I'm so into scary movies, documentaries, and horror is because my sign is actually known to be the serial killer sign.
What sign is that?
Cancer, yeah,
Cancer?
yeah, FBI. It's under the FBI thing, so that's a fun
Is that why
fact.
my mom? Is that why my
I'm
mom
telling you.
watches all those CSI
Telling you, if you're a Cancer or you're near that time, you're just like you're in it, and I totally believe it's part of your astrology. Whether you're supposed to take on criminology, lawyer, whatever, it is like in your DNA as a Cancer. Like you are like linked to it. I don't care what y'all say. We are the most dangerous sign of the thing, but we're also very smart. So maybe that's part of why when I was growing up, I was like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't. So going from that, my
Hey, Te
faith is
Amo.
hi, Te amo.
It says Amir quickly. That's him.
Oh, I know. I mean, so so interesting. It is very interesting. So, my faith definitely is my choice. I think people think when you go to church your whole life, you're kind of brainwashed. Your family makes you go or something. My faith was with me from day 2, day 3, and it helped me through very hard times of my life. And what I can say about my tragedy and trauma is I've been through a lot of trauma, guys. Not like a small amount of trauma where, you know, I can maybe get over this, and nobody's trauma is different. But I can tell you that it is that faith that got me through those hard times. So, for example, the reason why I wanted to go into demonology, I was ready to tell the story as is. Like when I was 10 years old, I moved to a street called Riverside. Riverside was known for that little bend area, really nice homes and stuff like that. And our backyard was the gorge area. And when I was about 10 or 11, I moved in this house and had this gut wrenching, overwhelming fear. And people would think it's because I was in a lower area. Like I could see the like river and stuff from our window. Just that's how scenic it was. And people liked my mom and loved coming over. I came from a two-parent home, two-parent Christian home. Both of my parents are still married, and a older sister. And for the life of me, I thought my life, for the most part, growing up was perfect, to be honest. Like I really did, and that's even struck me harder when I did have it started to have issues with everything that was going on in my life and my household, which I didn't have a very close relationship with my father that I do today, and I think healing that healed a lot of me. But basically, I started hearing like footsteps on the top of my, what would you call it, like an awning that was over my room. And then it went from that to hearing footsteps that were going up and down the stairs. And I'm telling this because I want, if anybody's out there who had anything happen to this in way, I went through this for 3 years consecutively of different things. It wasn't until I knew the knock of the Trinity, which I didn't learn till later on in my life, that the three knock rule was a Trinity knock, which was Satan and a sign of the devil. And I didn't even realize that when this was happening to me, and I would hear these three knocks consecutively through my life. It freaked me out when I wanted to go into demonology because of that, learning that fact. So seeing something like that where people with the energy situation where they say that demon was a negative energy or possible energy, I completely view it as a different, because I, in my faith, believe the Son, the Father, the Holy Spirit, and that we have an actual spirit that descends to heaven, and also that there's a hell and that the devil is real. If anybody wants to know my particular way of thinking in my faith, that's permanent in me. It's never going to change. But I do like the history behind religion, and that's why my faith is with me today. I carried it since I was 13 because I had such a horrific accident, and it helped me through that trauma and through other traumas. My relationships, personally, I don't know if anybody goes through this. I've been through physical abuse. I through relationships. As a woman, that was really hard for me to come to terms with and admit to. I had lost a child very young. He was born from preeclampsia, and got sick, and he was born early. I've held my son and watched him pass away before my eyes. I've had a brother who's passed away from a drug overdose, which was heartbreaking and heart wrenching. That made a lot of decisions for me in my life. And I could talk about the various people that lived in Akron that I grew up with who passed away on um, health occasions, just like Valerie. Or I could tell you about the many ODs that me and Kara may have went through, our funerals we have been to through friends that have passed away from the opioid pandemic that's around us. I went through that to work into a field where I got to see people actually ODing in front of my face, passing out. Um, the warrior, like if you see that, um, and go through it as a person, it's highly difficult. Especially if you're a victim of abuse, of any type of emotional or physical abuse in around your home, um, or whatever. That's why my faith has just kind of picked me up through all the hardest moments I can think of in my life. And I put that above everything, guys, everything that I do in this life. And it has made me whole, and it's made me happy to live without it. So that's kind of me and why I've decided to do this podcast and go on this journey with Kara. We do have a common situation that we connect on. And I do think for me, it's important for us to be there for you, and we can get more in depth to our situations. But if you have any questions about my backstory, want to know more, definitely ask. And with that brief thing of my life, I'm going to go ahead and pass this on to Kara. And if she has any questions, she can ask or go into her backstory, and then we can talk about it. If that's okay.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go into my backstory, and then we're going to talk about both of our backstories.
Okay.
And I think our backstories are all very similar. I think we've been through a lot of the same things. And I think, that may be one of the reasons why we are drawn to each other, and we have became friends. And because those traumas just molded us into the people that we are, and we, instead of sitting in our sorrows, we move forward and we try to be positive about it. And that's where that's basically, because there's some days when I scroll past your page and I'm like, my motivation for today, because I really didn't want to do it.
I've heard that a couple of times, actually. I've made videos, just Snapchat videos, and I do get a high thing from TikTok and stuff from viewers and people that are, I really inspire them. And it touches me so weird, because I just feel like I'm being myself. So that's
exactly.
Good to hear. I do that to you too, but you just don't know it because nobody says it out loud.
Yeah.
You just don't know. But I've heard it from other people. Yeah.
Yeah, you are very inspiring, and it's a good motivation. Is when I'm not feeling positive, I get that.
You are too, though. Look at us.
Real fast.
We're here. We're doing this.
Right.
And if it wasn't for you, if it wasn't for you getting your business degree and pushing me in that direction with you and us connecting that way, here we are, guys. So we could go places. Support us.
We absolutely can. We're gonna go places.
Yeah.
We are.
We are going to. We definitely are. We're going to the Hartville Flea Market.
Yeah, we are. I'm actually going to get that scheduled. We might go this weekend. I'll see if it might not be too late to schedule. Yeah, if you're available, it would be Saturday.
Yeah, it would have to be later. But let's get into that later. Go on about your story, though. I don't want to take from you.
So, yes. So, I had a child at a young age. He passed away at 6 months old. So, and he died from bronchial pneumonia. He stopped breathing in his sleep. And the night that he passed away was actually a night that I wasn't home, and I hadn't been out in a little while. As a teenager, it seemed like forever for me that I hadn't been out. And I was out with my friends when he died. I ended up having to leave my friend's party and go to the hospital to find that he was already gone. A huge tube in his leg and wrapped in one of those hospital knitted blankets. And yeah, I broke down. I asked God why. I lost my relationship with God. I was actually really mad at him and frustrated. But before he even died, as a young teenager, I've always suffered a lot from depression. Depression has really been bad. And I used to cry myself to sleep, constantly. I'd done it for so long. And actually just recently I feel like I'm okay with not crying myself to sleep anymore, but I usually do cry myself to sleep. And it's just because of the depression. But I used to pray and cry myself to sleep at night because I felt like my son didn't deserve to grow up in a world that was so full of hate and injustice. There wasn't enough love. And then he died. So it was like God was answering my prayer, but at the same time I was heartbroken and I didn't understand it. You know what I mean? Because my son didn't have to endure and suffer these things that you suffer through on earth to become this person that you are. After that, I went through a lot of depression. I got addicted to Xanax, and I became an alcoholic, and smoked a lot of weed. And I basically just partied all the time with my friends and tried to numb the pain away. I would take so many Xanax and drink to where I would just pass out, and that'd be it. I eventually, one of my close friends did end up talking me into getting my GED. So I did get my GED when I was 19 or 18, 18 or 19. But before that, I actually moved to Columbus because when I turned 18, my brother, my mom and them got kicked out of the projects in Barberton, Van Buren Homes. And my mom and my sister and my brother were able to go stay with my older sister, but I wasn't able to because there wasn't enough room for me. So I was basically out there and had to find somewhere to stay. I ended up staying in my second cousin's downstairs basement of her apartment in Van Buren Projects. And I ended up meeting this guy, and we worked at the same place at a telemarketing place out there in the First Merit building out there in Barberton. And I met him, and we hit it off or whatever, and we ended up moving to Columbus together. And my first mistake was not making sure that my name was on the lease. My second mistake was moving somewhere so soon with someone I didn't know. And my third mistake was sticking around for so long after I seen the red flags. But I basically got, I never used hard drugs like cocaine or Percocets or ecstasy or anything like that until I met him. So I got really bad on drugs. And I worked 2-3 jobs, and he would pass out and leave me stranded at the jobs that I worked at. I had nobody to call, no friends, no family to give me a ride. So sometimes my managers would have to give me a ride home, or sometimes I wouldn't even have money to pay a cab, but a cab driver would just think I was pretty and give me a ride home. But still, that was risking me being raped or something, or molested. But luckily that didn't happen. But when I lived in Columbus, my ex would get so messed up on drugs that we would go on these road trips, and he would drive around and drive into metro parks and literally beat me in the car and wouldn't let me out. And I thought a couple times I thought I was going to die. And I thought I would never make it out. I got back. I ended up, somehow a miracle happened one day when we were drunk, and $50 ended up in my shoes, and he was gone at work. And I took that $50 and I went down to a neighbor's house because I had black eyes and everything. And they let me use their phone to call a cab. And I paid a cab to the Greyhound station, and I caught the Greyhound back home with that $50. I left everything I owned, and I got out of there.
Good for you, yeah.
And when I got back, I had a miscarriage with his baby. The whole embryo came out of me, and I feel like that was a blessing. I never experienced anything like that before, but I still feel like that was a blessing. And then for a while after that, I was just traumatized. I didn't know how I was so traumatized when I got back to Akron. I didn't know how to act. I didn't know how to have a healthy relationship because I thought I had tried to start a healthy relationship, but in all reality, it wasn't. So I drank all the time. I worked 2-3 jobs, but I drank. I was in the bar every night. I wasn't in a steady relationship. I slept around with various guys, whoever would, show me affection that made me feel like I was loved. And I eventually met my kid's dad, and we used to stay up for hours in the car talking, and he made me feel like he actually really cared, which he is a good guy, but I went through a lot of physical and mental abuse and controlling and jealousy, And just not, I wasn't able to be myself with him because myself wasn't good enough. I wasn't wife material. I was with him for 5 years. And I got pregnant with my daughter. While I was pregnant with my daughter, he slept with my sister. She lived with us. And I stayed with him. After all the physical, mental abuse, I stayed with him. I kept dealing with it. I kept dealing with it for a really long time until finally when COVID hit, I broke. I couldn't take anymore. And
Kara, I can't hear you, honey. You're just frozen. We're going to give her a second to come back. But definitely some things, if people have some questions that I can answer about my personal story, I can. When we get Kara back, we'll definitely touch base with her a little bit more. So it sounds like a lot of what we're going through, that COVID really helped her as well, pretty much shape her life. So give me 1 second here, and I'm going to see where she's at. So if you have any questions or anything, just let us know. I can hear you, kind of.
yeah, you can hear.
There?
Yeah, my
Okay.
computer died. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's okay. No, you're fine. So where we were at was the COVID. So COVID happened and it gave you that edge to leave situation.
Yes. Hold on, I'm trying to get my camera together. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna get it. Hear me counting out loud. Sorry, guys. That's the OCD.
You'll have that. I mean, after everything you've been through, definitely want to touch base on that. So what was your idea for after COVID did happen? How did you feel? What changed in you?
So when COVID happened, I guess I realized that tomorrow's never, ever promised for anyone.
Yep.
And why do I want to live my life being mentally, physically abused and miserable and not happy? I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy with him. I wasn't happy with myself. I cried myself to sleep every night. He would take the car and go out and get drunk and go to girls' houses, and he'd have, weed or whatever on him. And then, he'd lose it because he was so drunk and then call me to come beat up his little girlfriends that he was sleeping with that night. And it was just like, it got to a point to where I'm just like, okay, I'm tired of my kids seeing the way you treat me. I have 2 little girls, and
yes,
I'll be damned if I let them end up with a man like you.
Right.
I'll be damned. And if you think it's okay for them to end up with a man like you, then you need to take a look deep down in yourself, because something's definitely wrong. And they didn't need to see me like that, because I'm dealing with all this and I'm not the best me that I could have been throughout that time either. Because of I didn't know how, I wasn't in my right state of mind. I'm trying to get my camera to work. 1 second. I might have to turn it off and on.
You're fine. Take your time. So interesting shows, interesting topics. Definitely, I can see definitely two women who have some experience and trauma of losing their children, abusive relationships, to touch on that a little bit with me while she's figuring that out. My
I'm
first real
getting it.
relationship was very hard. I could have been like a Lifetime movie because he was really a popular kid and people really liked him and thought that he was funny. You know what I mean? Just this funny, loving person. When I met the father of my son, he was on his way to going to the Navy and later on graduated and decided to go to criminal justice school. At that time, when he was talking about going to college, he thought about being a police officer at that time. And he was he kept accusing me of cheating on him continually, to the fact like being my first relationship. I don't know if I didn't want to see it or what, but it eventually, when you go through a trauma, your life becomes survival. It's not, and people go, why would you stay for so long with someone? It's simple. Someone hits you, you leave. The first time I was ever hit, the first time I was ever hit, I was hit hard. I mean, my whole face was black and blue from one side to another. He was a very big man. And um, I had miscarried 4 months. And let me just tell you how my stuff went down in those situations. Not only did I miscarry my child, I was 4 months pregnant. I was scared to death. I mean, I was a teenager myself. I was working, I was going to school. I was trying to act like I was an adult when I clearly wasn't ready for any of those responsibilities. But trying to be, because I knew that being pregnant, I had a big responsibility coming my way. And Kira, like I used to think, oh my God, I don't want to be pregnant. I don't want to have this baby. I don't want to do any of that. I blamed myself so much for that first loss. Like in my head, I still, I don't blame myself because I'm an adult now, but as a kid, I was like, it's my fault. I didn't want to have this baby, but yet I was a child myself at 16, 17 years old who made a bad decision one night with a popular kid we went to school with. And here I am in this situation with him, and he was 3 years older than me, you know, and I'm scared to death. I was scared to death. Um, and him being 3 years older than me, he went to bars and hung out with different women and was cheating, and I'm sure of that. And I'm lucky that I didn't get sick from him at points. But he was the one who was really forcing this child idea on me. It's like almost like he was like, if we have a child, everything's going to be good in the world, and we're going to raise this child, and we're in love kind of situation. And I feel bad for these young girls because there are some situations in this life that I would love to talk to teenagers about before they make these decisions, that there can be some severe consequences to that. So 4 months after my miscarriage, after that is the first time he ever put his hands on me. And I was going through the actual loss of the child. He had a sister-in-law who told him, they call it an elective abortion when you have a miscarriage. I don't know if you know that term. They call it an elective abortion. It's
That's
a medical,
ridiculous.
it's just a medical term. Is basically the baby, you know what I mean, came out. I
Hmm.
had a high hormone level or whatever. If my hormones were too high to carry the embryo and I had a miscarriage, my mom and dad were there. I mean, they took the baby out of me. And because they said that, he took it as I had an abortion, left me at the hospital, told everybody I had an abortion. That was like very traumatic for me because not only did I wake up bleeding everywhere, losing my child, I didn't have the support of the father. Um, my family was there for me. I mean, the day out of the hospital, I mean, he was just accusing me of killing my child. So the first time he ever put his hands on me, I thought it was because I lost his child, not was, and it's my fault. And that's where my head was like, this is my fault. I did something wrong. And when people are narcissistic or start to blame you, ladies or gentlemen, I don't want men to feel like because we're two women and we've been through abuse that you're a male and you can't be through abuse for a female, because that is absolutely not true. I believe it goes both ways. But in this scenario, it was very traumatic for me that a month later, I was pregnant with my son, Dylan, And I was pregnant for 11 months and with somebody who was physically and emotionally abusive through those times. I think about my son, and I think it might have been easier for me. My mom held my son when he died, just like you were a kid. And I hope that I can give you some solace in this. It is not your fault how you handled it. It's not your fault for not being there. It's not your fault for any of that. Because let me tell you, God knows what you can handle, girl. I guarantee you this. If I held my son when he died, I would not be sitting in front of you today. I would not be sitting here because let me tell you, it's something that you, if you guys been through this, will never forget. It is the biggest heartache, the biggest pain you cannot think or talk about and not cry. Period.
Losing a
You can't.
child is the worst thing that you
Oh,
could possibly go through. So
yep.
my heart definitely goes out to anyone. I don't care how you
Anyone.
child.
Yeah.
It's the most painful thing ever.
Oh,
There's nothing else that other than physically dying yourself, which I don't even think that's probably that bad, but
oh, I
like
know. It's uncomparable. And the thing about it is your choices in the aftermath of that. It's from healing from that situation. In general, you spend your life, you donate your life pretty much that moment to healing from a healing process that you're not even aware about. So
yeah,
if you're going through that and you feel alone in that, definitely reach out to Kiara or myself because we both, I promise you, understand it's a make or break you situation. It
it
really
is.
is. It is. There's no in between. It's going to make you or break you. It's going to make you extremely strong and take on things you cannot take on, but you're doing it. You're getting out of bed. Everything hurts. Everything's tired. And on days, life just sucks out of you. No matter how happy you want to be, it'll stop you on a dime. So I don't know when your son passed away, but I guarantee you there's a moment that she walks away and can't deal with that day. Can't even stop thinking about it. So like
It's a
if
month
you're us,
away. That
yeah,
day,
if you're
his
us,
birthday is a month away. He died in March. So, but yeah, his birthday is a month away, and he would be 11 or 12, 12, 11, 12,
yeah,
oh,
my son would actually be on his way to graduate this
13.
year.
No, 13. He would be 13.
Yeah, my son would have been graduated this
Hey,
year.
no, because I was 16. He would be 18,
Yeah. Yep.
18 this year. I'd have
Yep.
an adult as a kid, as a child, if he was
Yep.
still.
My son would have been 17 years old on his way
See,
to
look, I
exit
can't
his
even.
senior year.
My memory is horrible. That's why I take ashwagandha.
It's okay. You know what's funny? I did this one day. I said my son was born, like mind you, in 2014. And I went, no, he was born in 2004. And you feel horrible when you do those things. Please don't do that to yourself, just like even now. Like
It's
he'd have been
coming up
18.
too.
Yeah, he'd have been 18 years old. And I truly believe this though. I truly believe the physical nature of the man that I was dating at the time. I don't know if he would have been physically abusive with my son. And if he had been physically abusive with my son, I would go to jail. I have no problem saying that. He would have been a special needs child, lung issues, you name it. And I can't say that he would have done that because the man that he's grown into today and having a full on family and stuff, and hopefully God shined on him to give him the help that he needed. And I forgive him to move on with my life. But I do not like him. So if anybody knows who I'm talking about, please do not try to stick up for his ass because you have no idea. That was the other thing too. I should tell you about that later. That what you're going through today, what we were talking about. So yeah, you are
Yeah.
not alone, Kira. Like there's that's strength. That's strength. And I your drug past, everything that you've been through, standing here today, you should feel on top of the world, girl. You should
I
feel on top of the
feel,
world.
honestly, I feel like the only reason I am where I am today is because of Jesus Christ and God and all that
Mhm.
they've shown me. They
Yeah.
showed me how to heal, exactly what I needed. And that's because even though I was mad at God, I still prayed every day. I never lost
Yep.
faith. I knew he was there. I never lost my faith, even though I was mad at him. He knew I was mad at him, but I still
Yeah.
didn't lose my faith. I still prayed every day and thanked him. And I've always just been, I've never been without. I've always had everything that I needed. And I see that. I like all the growth that I've done and all the growing. It was like, he was like, yep, go ahead and sit down and learn your lessons. Soak everything up that you've been through. Just think about it all and figure
I
out where
just
you're going
want,
next. He made me he put pressure on me, and it made me into the person that I am today. And I couldn't have done anything without him. And I really feel like I'm in a fairy tale right now.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I'm really happy for you in the sense that that adversity that you went through and you came through, that's inspiring because a lot of people need you to be that person for them sometimes. And so if you went through your own struggle and you were that person to pick someone else up through your pain, that's strength. I mean, every day is strength. I personally would never turn to drugs. I drank a lot in my early 20s with my friends to numb it. So like I do know, like I did that some days, but it wasn't like on a continual everyday basis. Um, so I dug deep. Like I went through some really bad days, just through life in general. But I think too, we put ourselves in those situations, and there's a personal responsibility to our choices as people. And once you free yourself and say it's okay, I forgive myself because
That's it.
I made a mistake and I didn't believe in myself the way I should have, and nobody took that from me but me. That's the painful part.
That is. It
That
really is.
is the painful part, guys. Like once you start a journey of self forgiveness, you have to learn to forgive yourself for your actual choices and who you were at the time you made those choices. I
Mhm.
don't know who I was 10 years ago. So if you knew me 10, 15 years ago, I'm not that person.
Exactly.
Even I couldn't even tell you who that person was. So if I ever hurt you or did you wrong or you did me wrong, I promise you I don't remember it. I went through a lot of trauma to get to where I was today. And I feel like people need that sense that need to grow up and realize we all are human and make stupid decisions as kids. And mine and your decision led us into a life of some choices that we wish we could take back. Yours
Mhm.
were different than mine. Mine were bad relationships, definitely toxic relationships with other people that I let tell me who I was and knowing who I am and how strong I was. And I let them take that light from me for sure at
See,
times.
I got the toxic relationship, and I was just like, yeah, give me all the toxicity. I want it. Let me just keep sitting in it and being miserable and not living for me and just live for you. I am your slave. No,
Oh God. Yeah, no,
not
I
no
think
more.
yeah, no. I think differently. I think that the men that I dated actually were entitled. I worked extremely hard just in the relationship itself. I didn't give myself the credit I deserved for my hard work, everything I was doing, the money, the time, the effort I was putting into them, their families, and putting myself second. I mean, anything I wanted to do, I put second. And I kept saying, there will be a time for me. They will notice everything that I'm doing. But the truth was I the issue or was the entitled person that was in my life at the time gaslighting me and hurting me as well and made me think that I'm to blame for stuff because I didn't heal from something that happened to me as a child? And that personal responsibility came from I had to heal from something that was
Mhm.
from me as a child. I set an expectation in a relationship that this person thought I lived, breathed, and did everything for just them, only them. And it felt good for a minute, so I held on to it because I could just hide behind it, I guess. I could hide behind what everybody else considered to be normal. And that was painful for me to admit. It still is because I wasted a lot of my potential and my life. And if you don't think that's part of Satan pulling you in and God trying to pull you out, You are wrong, people. You are definitely wrong. When you start making your own choices and not live your life through your own faith or what you believe on the inside, that's when you are broken.
Yep.
Even if you're smiling, you're broken. And all I can say is what you've been through, I love the $50 story. I will carry that story with me forever. That's inspiration. That's an inspiring story. Thank you. I love that. I love that you did that. I love that you did that.
I prayed, like I would cry and pray while he was gone at work daily because he was beating me up. And that was God's way of giving me a way out.
Yeah.
I
And
followed
you
my
remember it.
intuition. Yeah.
God
And
said, if there's a will, there's a way, and here is your way. I'm giving it to you. Take it. And you say, I left
take
all my
it.
things. It's like, it don't matter. You
If
matter.
If you're in a situation and you need a way out, pray for it.
Yeah.
And if you're looking for it and you really want a way out, it will be there. It will be provided to you and you will take it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I've had my moments. I think my most healing moment was when my brother passed away. And that moment, I was like, and I've been through other things too, guys, like not just the two main stories. I've lost other people that are very close to me in my life in very traumatic ways that I'll touch up base on. But this was my right hand, one of my best friends, like my best friend Kim. Like I did so much with him. He was a part of my life, my family, my world. There's not a block that I'm not on that he's not on it. It's like every memory, every second. And he was really well liked. I mean, 300 people came to his funeral. Let's just put it that way. And he couldn't see himself, like he could not see how many people loved and cared about him. He fell down a dark path and I lost him somewhere. Like I didn't see it coming. I had been through a bad car accident, 6 surgeries, you name it. I've been through it, ladies and gentlemen. I can tell you that without my faith, I can't promise you I'd be here. So like sometimes when people have a view of religion and faith, don't don't let people hurt you by that faith. And I don't care if you're spiritual or you don't
It's all
believe
the same.
or you don't want to that. I'm not downing you. I'm saying come to me. I don't care if you believe or not. If you're in a bad way, trust me, we want to know. We want to try to do something if we can to help. We've been where you are in some way or another. Care more of the drugs and alcohol, substance side, and the loss. Me, definitely trauma. And I've I've been down on my knees just in so much pain where you want to scream. Like you just want to scream. And the pain is just so much bigger than you. So I can tell you that don't take every single person and think you know who they are by a mere image of them smiling and what people say about them. Get to know your neighbor is what I would probably suggest. But I think the hardest thing I've ever done was forgive myself because I had to. That was when he died, I realized like before COVID, I was like, that's it. I'm done. I am done letting people hurt me. I am done being walked on. I'm done being used. I'm done being this person that's there for everybody. And I chose peace. And I did that about 3 or 4 years ago. Best decision I've ever made. Cut relationships out that gave me strife and problems. I kept myself away from the drama. But Kira, you are amazingly strong. I am so glad to know you. I'm happy, dude. I'm happy for you. I just want to scream like you got your own business going. Your kids are in a good place. You did all of that. And
I went through all that and I did everything that I have right now. I did it all on my own with nobody's help. I didn't have family that supported me. I never had any type of support. And another thing that breaks my heart is like most of my friends are Black. Most of my real friends that I consider family are Black. But because I'm white, like it's like and I don't blame them. They support their Black friends before they'll support me. So if the majority of my friends are white, who do I have this support, or are black? Who do I have that supports me? Because I don't have people that support me, you know? So that's another thing that bothers me, because I don't like the division.
Oh yeah,
Division.
yeah.
I feel like we all come from the same things. We all go through the same things. And you know, if I'm your friend, then I should get support from you just like your other friend should.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you were going through anything like that would make you feel diverse.
I deal with that. I deal with that. Go back upstairs now. Thank you. Why do you have my clothes on and my makeup? What did you do to your face? Go.
Oh, she did the makeup thing?
She put my powder on her face.
Why did you push me like that? No, not your mom.
She's really pale right now.
Okay, well, I mean, she's been through a lot.
She's got a TikTok tattoo right here.
I know. It's gonna be permanent. How do you guys feel about
Mari,
that?
don't
TikTok
come over
tattoos.
here, you're
I'm sure there is
You need to
TikTok
go get in the
tattoos.
bath.
Well,
I want her to show. She's wearing my outfit with my makeup on. She didn't do a bad job. Show them your TikTok tattoo.
I mean, girl, you're killing them, but you are a little pale. I like the lipstick. I like the lipstick color. Yeah, I mean, I could tell it's real. That's a real tattoo. We could tell, girl. You are tricking the world right now. I can't
She
believe
said
that.
she loves her tattoo. Okay. No. Go on, y'all. Bye. All right, come on. It's bath. You guys are about to get baths. Okay. Yeah, we're going to end it live because I have crying kids. But thank you to my sad stories. They're really not sad. They made me who I am. So don't feel bad for me. I just want you to understand that I really do. Honestly, I've been through a lot and I deserve everything that I have, and I've earned it.
Live.
Definitely do.
Check out my
Absolutely.
TikTok.
We will touch
Sarah
base
Van Meter.
later on the diverse
And yeah,
situation. I think
so
that will be a
just
great
check it
topic
out
for
so you
next
can watch all
week.
my crazy
And
TikToks.
check us out for
It goes on forever.
other
Just
places we go.
letting you know.
Yeah.
And check out Kira's daughter's TikToks. I have seen them on a couple
for
occasions.
TikTok.
She might be about to do a TikTok with her pale face. We'll see.
Yeah.
She's waiting on my phone. So
Y'all really don't understand how pale her face is. But so wrapping this up, we'll definitely get into your diverse situation with what's hurting you too, and go over that. So if anybody wants to,
that's just some emotions that got brought up to the surface during my explosion of emotions.
There's a reason that came out. So we'll touch base on that too. And anybody who wants to join the diverse conversation, I'm sure that's a hard situation topic. Religion, diverse, political. Maybe one day we'll get into a politic kind of situation. But we will have some fun shows. Kira, it was fun joining you. I'm going to let you take it off the rest of the way. And any questions, let us know.
Yes. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget, Kira Ann Productions Co. is now official. We will be setting up shop at Hartville, so watch out for that flyer coming up. And go over to my page, Kara Ann Van Meter. Click the pinned post on the top of my page and get your gear. Dripping for diversity. Come drip for diversity with me. Yes.
Yeah.
All about equality. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
And